podcast show for business owners and managers who are passionate about developing people and growing a successful business. And now here's your host, Alistair Booth from the HR Booth.
Welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, I'm going to just chat around three of the problems that we help solve for businesses and the clients we work with. Now, there's a lot more than three. I was speaking to Rennie off camera regarding this. What we're going to do in this episode is just chat through some of the problems. We're going to just chat through three in particular that kind of come up quite often, and just talk through how we solve them for our clients. So one that comes up quite a bit is probably time and cost pressure. So what you find is that sometimes teams just don't have that capacity internally to kind of manage the HR side of things. There's perhaps kind of cost restraints. They have issues within the existing team because it might be a small team. They can't kind of cope with peaks in workload. There might be different projects that kind of land. There might be different employee relations cases that kind of come up. So us having that, being on hand as an outsourced HR partner, we're able to kind of scale and flex when we need to for our clients and kind of manage that for them. So what you kind of find is that internally that your managers are busy, trying to kind of manage the business, the day-to-day side of things. They might be kind of selling, they might be marketing, they might be networking, they might be doing all the technical aspects of the role. And the bit that maybe gets forgotten about is how to lead, how to manage and coach people. And, some of the HR issues that come up, they're maybe not equipped to deal with that as well as they can. And they might not see that as a priority. But, as a business, what you need to kind of look at is that your people should be your number one priority. So we say this quite a bit in manufacturing and engineering, where, companies might have, large scale machinery, plant and equipment, etc. And they spend a lot of time to service and maintain that, to look after it. But at the same time, your people, should be afforded that same advantage. So you need to be making sure they're kind of looked after. So that's sometimes the bit that kind of maybe slip, that your internal teams are just so stretched. So by outsourcing that to someone like us, we can take care of that. And as I said earlier, we've got capacity in the team that we can flex up and down depending on your kind of requirements. So that means you don't have to worry about the kind of HR side of things that kind of come up. So with the depth and experience in the team, we can be covering things like HR admin. So that could be including recruitment and onboarding, all the kind of HR admin that is required in the employee life cycle. And then we get involved in management training, development, coaching your managers, upskilling the managers, and dealing with any kind of conflict issues that kind of might arise. So that's all the things that we can help with. So that's one of the advantages. The other one that comes up quite a bit is just around the kind of compliance piece. So again, employment legislation changes so often. This year in particular, with the Employment Rights Bill, is going to be significantly challenging for a lot of employers, just keeping up to date with the various changes in legislation. So as a business, you're spinning far too many plates that it's impossible for you to perhaps keep up to date with that. So that's one of the things that we take the pressure off, is that we keep up to date for you, and then we'll work with you to make sure that your kind of policies, your handbook and your contracts not only comply with employment legislation, but are relevant to your organisation in terms of the culture and the values that you've kind of created. So we work with you to make sure that is taken care of. So you don't need to worry about that. That's something that we will take care of for you. And the kind of third one today is probably just around kind of manager capability. So again, in a fast growing business, what quite often happens is that you might promote a manager from within. So they might be very good at the job they're doing technically, but they've perhaps not had the people skills to kind of manage teams. So where we can come in is help build that capability, either through structured management training. It could be kind of on the job kind of coaching, and actually supporting them and giving them the confidence that any kind of people related issues that come up, they know how to deal with that. So that could include something like, how to deal with a flexible working request when it comes in. If someone's been off sick, how do you approach that conversation in terms of return to work interview? If someone has been off sick quite often, what kind of conversation do you have? You may have someone who's left the business and maybe raised a complaint about a colleague or about the business. How do you deal with that? So that's the sort of things that we'll kind of upskill your managers on. And the last part on the upskilling piece would be around just dealing with performance issues as and when they come up. So again, what does your performance management framework look like? Are the managers got the skills and the confidence to give feedback on an observational basis? Are they happy to have that difficult conversation? Do they know how to have the difficult conversation? And can they give that specific feedback as and when they need to? So building that management capability is quite important, and that's the sort of thing that we can help with. So that's just 3 examples of the support that we can give to businesses. So that, just to recap, is the cost saving side of things in terms of capacity, by outsourcing that to ourselves. There's a compliance piece, and also thirdly, the piece around management capability. So if you want to know more about other things that we can do, feel free to reach out to us. You can contact us at info@thehrbooth.co.uk or via the website www.thehrbooth.co.uk.